Good evening. With the arrival of the long weekend and beautiful weather, people will be leaving the city and heading outdoors. Now, Canada Day long weekend brings many reasons to celebrate, but as Megan Willis reports, it's also one of the most dangerous times to be on the road at this time of year.
As people hit the roads to escape the city, they can expect the RCMP to be out enforcing traffic laws in an effort to keep our roads safe during this long weekend.
We have a lot of areas within the Kitskoty jurisdiction that we focus on. Obviously, Highway 16 is one of the busiest highways in the province, so that takes a lot of our resources. Together with Highway 897, Highway 619, those are all areas that people can expect to see an increase in police presence over the long weekend.
RCMP will be focusing on a number of things as they crack down on the long weekend commuters, including distracted and impaired driving.
Well, obviously, when we get the warmer weather, as we've had recently, we're going to have nicer weather. We can expect an increase in impaired driving. We would hope that people, enough time has gone out, enough messages have gone out, that people realize that impaired driving is definitely a problem.
With people flooding out of town for the long weekend, headed to campgrounds and lakes, the RCMP is asking drivers to refrain from following vehicles too closely and to allow more time to get to your destination.
There's going to be an increase in traffic, so they have to take that into account, either by increasing their travel times or just by recognizing that because there's more volume of traffic, they're going to have to be a little bit more patient in trying to get to the places that they're going to be going to.
Some local drivers are already seeing an increase in traffic and are taking precautions before hitting the highway.
Well, you watch for the idiots, and because I'm going north to Grand Prairie, you watch for the moose, because that stretch of highway has the highest death rate in Canada.
I just live north of town, and it's just past noon, and I've already seen a major increase of traffic, so it looks like a lot of people are going to enjoy the nice weekend.
The RCMP says it's everyone's responsibility to keep our roads safe and are asking you to report any suspicious drivers. Megan Willis, Newcap News.
The Reinhardt industrial area in Lloydminster is still without power after a vehicle came into contact with a power line west of Highway 16 earlier today. Now, ATCO Electric tells us a maximum 1,100 customers were without power during the incident, but a majority of them got their service back by 3:30. Now, crews are still on the scene and it's unknown when power will be back. So according to RCMP, over the past 5 weeks, North Battleford schools have had numerous break and enters and thefts. Now, charges have been laid against 5 local youths between the ages of 12 and 15. 2 of these youths appeared in North Battleford Provincial Court this morning, and the remaining 3 will be in court August 29th. Now, several more youth under the age of 12 have been dealt with through ongoing investigations. Now, if you have any more information on these incidents, you're asked to contact the RCMP. Companies are getting mediocre marks for community service. This, according to a national report. The survey, commissioned by Big Brothers Big Sisters of Canada, says 2/3 of working Canadians believe their company should be doing more to support communities. Kim Smith spoke to the local organization that's trying to change that attitude.
If you work for the City of Lloydminster, you are entitled to use 16 hours of work time this year to volunteer for a local organization.
In this particular area, we are one of the only companies that I'm aware of that is actually carrying out this program right now.
The city introduced the pilot project about 4 months ago. Employees have been using their hours to volunteer for a cross-section of organizations.
We're pleased to have the staff out there because it creates a very positive culture within the City of Lloydminster. It's great public relations.
A national survey commissioned by Big Brothers Big Sisters finds that 8 in 10 working Canadians would volunteer more if they had the time.
A lot of them felt that there wasn't enough of the employer letting them volunteer during the day because they are busy in the evenings and weekends and things like that, so more people would volunteer if they were given the opportunity.
Jacqueline Weed says she sees some employees volunteering for their mentor programs, but the organization needs more help.
We also have another 40 kids on the waiting list for either a Big Brother, Big Sister or in-school mentor. So there is always a waiting list.
She says companies in Lloydminster could be doing more.
It's just the awareness, that the need is out there and that it's an easy program, to get involved with.
The city says their volunteer program helps with work-life balance.
It's a great program, and I would certainly encourage other municipalities and or businesses to take a serious look at it. It's a very positive experience for all concerned.
Kim Smith, Newcap News.
fundraising efforts are continuing for those dealing with the aftermath of severe flooding in southern Alberta. Now today, the Service Credit Union in St. Paul kicked off the long weekend raising money for the Canadian Red Cross. Now for a couple of hours this afternoon, people lined up outside the Service Credit Union for a charity barbecue to show their support for everyone who was devastated by the floods.
Our Service Credit Union branches that have been affected by the flood, and we know many people personally that have family down there that's lost their homes. So when it was a decision to go ahead and do this organization and to help the Red Cross, it was there was no decision to be made.
From donating food to making monetary donations, numerous companies stepped up, and so did residents. Before noon, organizers had already raised nearly $7,000.
It's everyone coming together, and it's the extra $2 donations, and it's the extra $1,000 donations that we've had, because every little dollar counts and it all goes to the Red Cross. So in our time and efforts that we've put in, definitely, and all the people that have donated things, so it's all one big group.
The money will be sent to the Red Cross by the end of the weekend.